Hello everybody out there, this is the Wrydan, aka Rambo Dash, but today we're going to be doing a review. This beautiful looking game you see in front of you is Warframe, the new, I guess, space ninja based game, kind of a mix between Syndicate and League of Legends. It's like Syndicate, it's a co-op online game. You and a group of other players complete missions together to level up your character, to increase your level and get better gear. But it's like League of Legends, where you get to pick your Warframe and you build on that and you perfect your abilities with it, and hopefully it becomes a favorite and you can switch in between different frames. People choose their own. I'm using Oberon. I like him a whole hell of a lot more than I did Excalibur, and he's served me pretty well. His abilities are pretty cool, and maybe we'll get to look at those in a minute. First, let me tell you some of the features. First, we can look at the settings here. As you can see, pretty straightforward. For everything, you can set up if you want gore or not. I mean, this one, you can even set up your ping limit, the region itself, which is pretty cool. You can even adjust where the HUD is. Full control of the graphics settings. You even have full-on control. You can fully customize the key bindings or customize the controller if you want to. This game is for PC and PS4 currently. There's talk of an Xbox One release, unconfirmed yet. And then of course the audio options. So, alright, let's take a look at your menu options here, going from right to left. First off, you have your keys, which are some of the missions. You'll earn these. These are basically like solo missions, where if you can complete them, you get a big boost of XP and currency, credits, which are these blue ones. This is platinum. This is your out-of-game currency, like your microtransaction stuff. If you use one of those, you go into a mission by yourself and have to complete the objectives. It's going to be against hard enemies, though. Of course, you get your inbox, any messages from the people that might show up in chat. People are talking. That's a first. Oh yeah, over here you have your friends list, and if you have a clan, you have your clan menu. Over here you got your foundry. This is where you craft stuff. I'm currently crafting a clan key for my clan dojo. I've also got the blueprint for the Banshee chassis, the Chronos sword, a Vauban chassis, and the Seer rifle. You can get these blueprints from the various missions, usually from completing ones such as Assassination, which I'll tell you about that. It's basically a big boss battle mission. When you defeat the boss, he usually drops blueprints that you can use to craft stuff. And that's the thing that's good to know coming into this next segment. This is the market. Now, this is where the microtransactions are. This is where you spend platinum if you've got it, which is pretty cool. If you don't have to buy anything in this game, the market is strictly if you want to get a certain weapon or a frame early without having to grind for it. You can get anything in game through collecting the blueprints and crafting it. You don't have to spend a dime. This game is free to play, and it can remain free to play if you want to grind all that stuff. If you want to be a little quick about it, and if you're a little impatient, you can go ahead and pick up stuff like, well, not like that. Let's take a look. You can buy new Warframes like this. You have all the various Warframes. I currently have Excalibur and Oberon. Those are the two. I used Excalibur for a while. He's basically a pure swordsman, melee, ninja guy. But Oberon's pretty cool. He's supposed to be the paladin or druid. He's kind of a mix between damage and healer. And he's really fun to use. He carries some pretty powerful weapons. You can also buy any weapons that you want, melee, secondary, or primary. You can also buy some equipment, including sentinels, which are like little pets that follow you around and fight with you. It's like having an extra person with you because they perform really well in this game. And it's one of those you don't even have to control them. They're pretty smart on their own. And then here's the pride and joy. This is where you'll spend a lot of your time. The arsenal. Now this is where you can customize all the mods, and what weapons you have, even down to how it looks. You can fully customize your weapon colors and everything. Like I have my mace fully customized. And in this, if you go to the upgrade menu, you can install mods. What these will do is increase certain abilities based on what the mod says, such as this one. This is Stretch. It increases the range of my special abilities, which is the 1, 2, 3, and 4 key. These four right here are my special abilities, and you can level them up through the mod station, which I will show you in a second. The more you level them up, the more effective they'll be, the more powerful, and have better range. You can also go into your weapons. You can also mod them. Weapons have 8 slots, whereas your Warframe has 10, and then an aura slot. Aura is like a big special power, but you get that much later on. I'm not that far into it. But something like this, of course, as you can see, I do not have enough mod energy. But if I wanted, such as this, I could install that in there. It uses up 2. We'll go ahead and keep that on there for now. Secondary weapon, you have melee, which, ooh, oh, I'm just short 1. But this one, I could increase my attack speed, and I already have one on here that increases the damage that my mace does. So I'll go ahead and keep damage. That way this thing just destroys faces whenever I go to. You have your sentinel. Your sentinel is like a little pet. He flies around. This one's armed with a laser rifle. He's kind of like a long-range energy weapon user. They also have some that have shotguns, some that stun enemies, and some that heal you. It's really your preference. You can change them in and out. This one, of course, he's equipped with my laser rifle, which I probably should go ahead and mod it sometime. He's got quite a bit of mod power on him, but he seems to do fine so far. Right here is your mod central. This is where you can adjust your mods and level them up. You have ones such as, let's see, do I have any? Oh, I have a fusion core. Alright, I can show you how this works. Let's go ahead and take a look here at let's look at magazine capacity here. No, let's look at stretch. This will be a fun one to use. Alright, I go into here, and then I can go to fusion, and I can select stuff like fusion cores are basically free XP to upgrade your mods. But the way it works is you mod stuff like that, you add things onto it, and it will actually increase the level here. Once it gets fully maxed out, or a full bar, it will upgrade the level of it, but it will also increase the effect that the mod has. So I think this one will add it to about a 10% power range if I add something. Oh, 15. But I have that one equipped, so I'm going to cancel that. But while we're here, we will go ahead and add that fusion core to it, and it'll cost you some credits, but credits are pretty easy to get. And there you have it. That is how you upgrade your mods. Okay, now you also have your inventory, which usually it's going to tell you what warframes you have, what weapons you have, and what crafting materials you have, including blueprints. You can sell those if you want, if you get 2 of one. But other than that, that's all you're going to use that for. You don't have to really bother too much in that inventory. That's going to all automatically be sorted out in the foundry. But now let's get to the bread and butter of the game. Let's take a look at some of the gameplay here and demonstrate how this works. Let's go ahead and into a defense mission right now. Or actually, let's... Oh, I'm on solo mode. Alright. Then we will go into one of these missions, and I will solo it, and I will show you how this works. I can show you the gameplay, the movement, all the things that make this game so fun. That's another thing. It's really quick to load using the Unreal 3 engine. Loading screens are very minimal. It's your basic WSD. You have kind of a parkour set. You can climb walls and then just slowly slide down and shoot people from that. Straightforward. Left click is your weapon. Right click is aiming. E is your melee. And you also have a key to switch between your primary and your secondary. And then you have your number keys, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for your abilities. These are the base key bindings. Pretty much the game though will tell you what you need to press for each situation. Alright, and I'm pretty sure that through this door will be some enemies. I just want to show you. You have wall running. Look at that. Don't you wish you could do that? It's pretty much a game about space ninjas. Alright. Oh! These are the Grenier. They're one of the enemy types, the easy enemy type. There is Smite, my first level ability. Oh, and I leveled up my rifle. But basically, these guys are pretty straightforward. They're just heavily armored Marines that carry various weapons, such as shotguns, rifles. They're pretty easy to kill. Only takes a few shots. Later on, you'll fight a group called the Corpus, which they're pretty tough. They have shields. They use energy weapons which drain your shields. And they attack in great numbers, so they're pretty hard to deal with by yourself. And you also have the Infested. Or Infected. I don't know, I think it is the Infested. And basically, they're kind of like Zerg. They're these zombie creatures that try to swarm you. And they can actually be pretty mean. Oh, what was that? Ah, I saved myself. Alright, oh! Hallowed ground for you. And he'll just take damage over time. Just sets up this field of damage on the ground. It's supposed to be holy fire or something like that, I don't know. I'm a paladin, I kind of do what I want. Oh, we've got ourselves an enemy that's... Ooh! That looked painful. That one did as well. Another fun thing, you have a combat slide. It's pretty fun to use. It actually helps you get around a lot quicker without using stamina. I just picked up a pistol gambit mod. And some crafting stuff. Ooh. Another one of my abilities is called Renewal. Basically what I do is I stab the ground and shoot out a bunch of orbs that'll follow teammates, and when it hits my teammates, it'll heal them over time. It's a pretty good ability if you're in a pretty difficult mission, a lot of people taking a lot of hits. But other than that, in the lower level missions, it's pretty useless. In that you won't really need to use it because nobody will get damage past their shields, and it only heals like actual armor damage. I need one more thing of energy. I want to use Reckoning before this is over. I've come to smash you. Alright, let's go ahead and check these things while my little sentinel does my job for me. There we go. Alright, now we can have some fun. I will now show you how Reckoning works. We can find some people here. Oh, like this guy, this... Nah, you're not worth it. But thanks for the monies. We'll find somebody. Oh, there we go. Reckoning! And he dropped a health orb. Which makes that such a powerful ability. Basically what it does is when I use it, I can use it in a group too, if they're fairly close. Which is pretty good in the survival and defense missions. Basically what it does is you use your energy to lift them off the ground and then slam them face first with as much force as you can. And it has a 50% chance for any enemies killed by it to drop a health orb. So it's kind of a massive damage, ultimate attack, and a healing ability at the same time. These guys are some pushovers. Just go ahead and... Melee combat, as you can see, is pretty straightforward. It's just hit the melee attack button, and he just swings wildly. Not really too much finesse, no counter system. There is a block button, but I never use it. Because, honestly, these guys won't... Most enemies will barely close. Usually use your melee if you get swarmed, and it's just your last-ditch effort to fight them off. Oh, and it looks like I've been locked out, perhaps? Maybe? This is the lockout feature. You have to hack data consoles. Basically, you have to match up these shapes. And you have to do it within a certain time, otherwise it'll keep you locked out, and you'll have to try again, but it'll also summon some enemies to you. Ooh, nothing interesting in there. I'm not sure what I had to hack to unlock, but we'll see. Oh, more crafting stuff. Ah, this is where I need to go. So... Where is he? Where is he? Aha. Now, this could be done with up to 3 other players, I believe. There's some missions that allow you to have even more. There's also a PvP mode called the Conclave. You'll see them dotted around different planets. Basically, the mods and levels of all your equipment are going to equal up to what's called your Conclave rating. And based on that will determine which Conclave battlegrounds you can go to, and usually they're 1v1 or 2v2 PvP battles where you just basically test out your abilities against other people. There's no real rewards other than the leaderboard. They are having a tournament coming up, which should be interesting. I have not tried it yet, but I might give the Conclave a little try once I get this up to max rank, which is 30. I am loving this new rifle, though. This is the Latron. It's basically a semi-automatic, kind of like a designated marksman rifle. And it seems to get the job done against both Grineer and Corpus. Ow! Get off me. Alright, I think that's it. Yep, we've killed everybody. So let's see here. Get to the extraction point. Slide my way to victory. Haha.
The bypass is done.
Now I will say some of the gripes in this game, there are some negatives. The movement is, while fun, is kind of choppy. Like you have that, like I just tried to run on the walls and he instead decided to just run up it. And then do a backflip. Sometimes if you're like on an outdoor area with cliffs, your character will run up a wall and then do a backflip off of it and jump off of the level, losing you some health.
Mission complete.
Oh, I got some rewards. That can be a big pain in the butt, especially when you're in the middle of the fight and you're trying to maneuver yourself tactically to get around enemies. It can be a pain in the butt when you're constantly jumping off the side of a cliff. Another thing is some of the hit detection can be a little bit laggy. Like you can hit people that you know you hit them, but you won't see any damage come off of them. It's because there can be some lag depending on who's hosting the game. It is a P2P hosting system, much like Call of Duty. Another gripe is some of the frames and the weapons are severely imbalanced, and that is made very apparent in places like the Conclave, such as right here, in that some frames have abilities that make them a little overpowered. One frame I know has an ability that makes them invulnerable, and with the right mods, they can become invulnerable and have a heavy hitting melee attack for a whole 60 seconds. And when it's just 1v1 or 2v2, that can be a pain, because usually a lot of these Conclave battles are last team standing. And that can be a pain. There's also another frame that has an ability that basically puts up a shield that weapon fire cannot go through from the outside. You can have people just kind of post that up and then shoot from the inside, and basically there's nothing you can do until it goes away. That can be pretty... I mean, Oberon himself doesn't really have any overpowering abilities, except maybe Reckoning, and that's only if I get close enough. But hopefully they address that, because this game shows a lot of potential, and despite those shortcomings, I'm really enjoying it. I've been playing this for a couple days now. I've already gotten my second frame. I've gotten him up to rank 13. I'm almost halfway to maxing him out, and as you can see, I've gotten to the point where I've fully customized him, made all my stuff match, and it's just a blast. I'm having so much fun with this game, and I urge others to at least give it a try. I mean, you have nothing to lose. It's free to play. It's honestly free to keep playing. You have that microtransaction is really just an option if you want to hurry and get some stuff to try it out. And it's one of those, if you start getting tired, I mean, the game can get pretty repetitious. Wow, it is late. I am sorry. It can be very repetitive, and that's one of the downsides. Most of the maps are pretty cut and dry. They seem to be the same corridors over and over again, just different layouts slightly, and the same enemies just compacted in different areas that you have to kill, get from point A to point B, fight your way through, and get to the objective. Now, one way to combat that is, once you're done with a character and you get it maxed out and you're starting to get tired of the game, you can go in and find another Warframe. You can purchase one from the market, or you can build one and try out new abilities. You can even go to the codex and see here. You go to the codex and click on the various Warframes. I mean, they have some really impressive art here. You can look at details about various frames, what abilities they have, what their stats are, and kind of think, how would I play this character? Each character has their own playstyle affinity too, so it's one of those, you might play a character and not like it. That doesn't mean that the whole game's bad. It's one of those, try another frame, work towards it, because there really is a varying amount of styles. And it's not to say that, you know, someone like the very squishy, very weak Ember, she doesn't have a whole lot of shields and health at max level compared to most frames, but her fire abilities are decent range and they are powerful, and you might be able to use that combat slide and combat roll constantly and keep yourself alive, and paired with someone like Oberon, or even one of the healer types, you could be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. So keep that in mind. You also, any frame can use any weapon. You're not restricted to certain weapons. That's pretty cool. So it's like almost like Guild Wars 2. You can switch it out when on the fly. If you're tired of using a weapon with one character, you can just equip a different sword or mace, and they have a ton of weapons and equipment you can use, so you have those options. But all in all, so far, out of a 10, I'd give this game about an 8. and that's being pretty generous, but it's one of those because this game shows so much potential. And it's made by Digital Extremes. For those of you that don't know, they made Dark Sector, which was hit or miss for certain people. I enjoyed it, but they also made the Darkness games, and regardless of what you think of the second one, the first one set a new precedent. A lot of people enjoyed it, and so they kind of have a decent past. And it's one of those I anticipate that they'll go the right way with this game, and they tend to listen to their fans. So I urge you, get this game, try it out. You can get it on Steam, or you can just go to warframe.com and download it for free. It's only for Windows currently, but I don't think it needs you don't need a supercomputer really to play it. I mean, it's using the Unreal 3 engine. So I can play it at max settings, but I'm pretty sure that even an older computer can play it at moderate settings, so it's no big deal. And in fact, sometimes I have to turn the graphics down because the bloom can be a little bit overpowering, especially if you're playing with somebody who has an all-white mech. They become a walking glow stick. But other than that, try it out. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, suggestions, or want me to look at anything else, you can go ahead and put that in the comments section. Feel free to subscribe, and we'll have future reviews coming up, and also some Let's Plays and Rage with Rainbow Dash, or Rambo Dash, I'm sorry, coming up for Battlefield 4 series, and we'll also try to get a Call of Duty Ghost series going. So stay tuned, keep watching, and please subscribe, and thank you. And hopefully I'll see you in this game and get to play alongside you, crushing Grenier, Corpus, and Infested. Good night, everybody. Ugh.